First of all, thank you all so much for coming. It is really amazing to see so much interest from everybody here. I just wanted to tell you briefly about what I'm trying to do here, which is that let's quote the greatest scientist who ever lived. To quote the greatest scientist who ever lived, Albert Einstein, what he said is, everybody who lived on this earth has to put back, everybody who lived on this earth and consumed on this earth has to put back to the earth the equivalent of what they consumed. So I have been here, I have enjoyed an amazing time in India for my first 20 or 21 years of my existence, and India supported me in so many numerous ways. The idea really is that it's time to give back to India and put back exactly as Einstein suggested. I also wanted to tell you that, basically let me tell you a little bit briefly about my life, and then we can take it from there. Benoit Mandelbrot famously said that my life appears to be a series of accidents and a series of random events, but when I look back, there is a pattern. So my life also has a series of random events and accidents and incidents, but when I look back, there's a pattern which is all leading to the right place. So I was born in Chennai, raised in Chennai, went to school here, then went to IIT Madras from 1979 to 1984. By the way, I was only 16 or less when I joined IIT Madras, so it was a highly impressionable age for me. At such an impressionable age, I met a lot of brilliant people, far more brilliant than me, both students and professors, and there's a lot for me to absorb from all of them. I was a electrical engineering major. At that time, there was no computer science, but I loved mathematics. My favorite subject was mathematics. There's just not enough of mathematics in India at that time, even though I'm going to talk about in a little bit how great we were. But our mathematics was, we didn't have centers of excellence. We didn't have people guiding you to do the right thing. I didn't know what to do. One day, a very famous American professor called John Hopcroft came to IIT, and he spoke about the work he was doing and the work that everybody else in America was doing, and I was very attracted, and I switched to theoretical computer science, which I went to Berkeley to study and work with world famous professors at Berkeley, and I learned a lot about it, and the subject was not easy, and I had to make a number of pivots, and eventually figured out what I wanted to do, and it ended up leading to an academic job. I was a professor of computer science at the Courant Institute of Mathematics at NYU, New York University. And one day while I was there, I didn't last that long, I was only there for 2 years, not because I was kicked out, but actually by accident, I read just completely happenstance, I read a book called Liar's Poker by Michael Lewis, which talks about the amazing experience of being on the trading floor of a Wall Street firm called Salomon Brothers. It's a bestseller, one of the greatest books ever written on this topic. And I read it and I said, I want to do the same thing, use mathematics to solve the puzzle of the stock market or the bond market and things like that. So that's what I started to do. And my wife, Sri Bala, her family is also from Chennai. She encouraged me very strongly to do it. And she said, my main complaint was, I said, it's not the work, I love the work, but I used to wear a t-shirt and jeans to office as a professor. She said, people said you had to wear a suit. And so she said, basically in India today, I just spoke to the dean and I spoke to some other people in Delhi. The entire focus on solving problems in technology has become from fundamental. I spoke about Aryabhatta and about Brahmagupta, but even back in the day, C.V. Raman and all these people, the great Srinivasa Raman, they were solving fundamental problems. Today, the focus in IIT and everywhere, especially with pressure from the various governments, is solve the problems of the Kisan and all. It's all we have to solve. I'm not going to say no. Very important to solve the problems of the Indian citizens and all of that. But also, we need to solve the great problems of the world the way we used to. We used to do it, right? We had the greatest minds in these topics. I already mentioned it. So the idea behind the center is to refocus attention on the fundamental problems rather than the applied problems of how can we build a better system for Kisan to water the plants or create solar energy. That's different. That also is important, but that's not what I wanted. That's what I'm trying to do.
So the center is already there, or you're going to rename this center?
It's a brand new center. I funded it in December 2025. Shweta Agarwal is named the head of the center. For 3 months now, she already started work because the money went in December, and now it's been 3 months. So the center is now named after me, but it's really brand new.
What is the commitment you have given for it?
It's in the tens of crores. But I don't know if they allow me to tell the exact number. IIT may not like it, but obviously it is going to be in the several tens of crores.
The center will take the students only from IIT or other institutions?
Yeah, it is a center for collaboration across India. So we will get in. So the faculty or the head of it is going to be in IIT Madras. But the scholars who collaborate, come for conferences, we pay for everything, and will be from all over India.
As you said, no lack of talent.
No lack.
So, obviously, you're not in the top
100. Top 100, yeah.
So what is lacking? So what is this center is predominantly going to do?
Correct. So, very good question. So when you look at the ranking, they need not just students or faculty, but they need the solution of the world's challenging problems. Not just India's, but the world's challenging. And the work has to be not just applied, but also fundamental. Okay, so this center, at least in computer science, is funding the scholars to not just, because if you just rely on government funding for your projects, or even from CSR and all, they want you to solve problems that are very applied, but that will not lift you in the ranking. This is back to how we used to be. When IISc was founded by C.V. Raman and so on, how we used to be. The world looked up to him. Raman was the equal of the world's greatest scientists. That emphasis went away over a period of time because we became much more applied, and then your ranking falls. And now, to put us back in the map, we want to compete with the best. We have the people to do it, but they don't have to worry about getting financing from others and things like that. This will take care of them. All they have to do is to concentrate on the work.
Chennai has already got an Indian Institute in Mathematical Science, Institute of Mathematical Science. How is it different?
Yeah, so they're all collaborating. Actually, the head of that is my cousin.
Mukundan.
Yes, Madhavan Mukundan. He is coming today. So we are going to collaborate with him also. Like I said, only the money went to IIT, but the money doesn't stay in IIT. The endowment is at IIT. The money that they have, the budget, they intend to, it's all collaboration to make it happen. It's important that, yeah.
It's only for research PhD students?
Everybody.
UG students also?
Yes, everybody. UG, PG, PhD, and also postdoc.
What is scope for the students and teachers?
Scope, first of all, nobody has to only be in this one field. You work in this field and other fields. So if you want to earn money in some kind of a job in the industry, this is not a primary thing, but it's for your curiosity.
Yes.
Just like you read a book at home, that is not for the job, it is more for your intellectual curiosity. So that's the idea. I believe that the great people can do more than one thing. Yes, on the one hand, even me too. I did a Wall Street job trying to earn a living, but I never gave up my curiosity. No, right now, eventually. Right now, we only have 40 people. Most of them are local PhDs in America, and we're trying to use them to build the system, but eventually it is going to spread everywhere.